Welcome back to Forza Naples. It's Ian. I'm flying solo today. We weren't supposed to record a podcast episode until either Tuesday or Wednesday to get it out to you guys, but something happened last night, and it deserves an episode. We had 2 goals from 2 center backs. So I'm flying solo today. We're going to hop on. We're going to record this for you guys because, 2 center back goals deserves its own special episode. If you're just listening to this, we are recording on April 6th, 2025, a day after FC Naples defeated Texoma FC 3-0 on the road on a cold night in Sherman, Texas. Another solid performance by the entire team, really. Never in doubt. One of those games where from start to finish, it was all FC Naples. And with the exception of maybe the last minute of stoppage time, no real big chances from Texoma. Just really solid performance by the entire team. But huge shout out to both Breck Evans and Jake Denger for their solid performances at the back. And, 2 goals off of 2 corners, just cool as you like. Is there a better center back pairing in the league, in all of USL, in North America? Dare I say, even the world? Just all around great performance from them. We did also get another goal from Carson Henderlong, who looks to be a shoo-in now for the Golden Boot Award. Another just great performance from him. Cool as you like finish in the first half. Just gets the ball inside the box, forces a turnover by them at the back, picks up the ball in the area, buries it in the back of the net. Cool as you like I said. Great goal from him in the 30th minute. Before we get too far into the Texoma recap, I do have to go back and again commend the team for their performance against Little Rock. When you come out and score 45 seconds into the game off another great goal by Onan, just another solid performance all around by that entire team. We did see a lot of balls played into space to let those wingers run onto in Onan. And I also thought Rocco Rubenstein came in. Debut performance for him. Another great. Just knowing that we have this depth is going to come in handy with all of these fixtures coming up. Lots of fixture congestion on the horizon for FC Naples. But then another goal by a center back, Breck Evans. First goal of the season in the Open Cup, and then scores again last night against Texoma. Great performance all around. But Chris Heckenberg, I think someone at FC Naples might be listening to these podcasts and taking our advice, getting that defensive midfielder involved in the game. I mean, he was the playmaker, I thought, kind of running it all. It has seemed like we've been missing a really solid number 10 to run that midfield. But Heckenberg stepped up as a defensive midfielder and was working that ball out wide. We were playing the ball out into space, letting these wingers run onto it, and then whipping it in the box to Tyler Pasnick, who had an assist in the game. But all around, great performance by the midfield. It was so nice to see the midfield involved. And I thought we were just running circles around Little Rock, who it seemed didn't really bring it. Unfortunately, they did have a great cup set against Birmingham, but FC Naples too much on the day. Again, it helps when you score a minute in and then 14 minutes later with a center back header goal, Breck Evans. Great performance and huge shout out to all of the FC Naples supporters that came out to that game. Over 2,000 people on a Wednesday night in Naples with a little over 2 weeks advance. Naples is really proving to be Soccer Town, USA. It was one of the highest attended games of the weekend outside of the Chattanooga Derby, which I did think beat it by about 10,000 people, but that was the first time they've ever met in a huge soccer city. And that game had a lot of hype around it. And the USL League One team, Chattanooga Red Wolves, taking down Chattanooga FC, as it should be, because we don't like MLS Next Pro from what I've heard. But yeah, huge shout out to the supporters. Over 2,000 people there. We did really miss the drums and all of that atmosphere. But just a solid atmosphere. Great performance by the team. I think everyone that was there can't wait for this upcoming Saturday, another home match. And to continue on in the Open Cup, the Open Cup draw happened this week. And in case you missed it, FC Naples will be taking on the Tampa Bay Rowdies for the first time on April 16th at home, 7 p.m. kickoff. That one should be a great game. And, looking at the Rowdies so far, I think they might be beatable. I think they are. They've not really shown too much in far of the season. Now they are, if you've not followed the USL for a while, from what I've seen, the Rowdies are a USL championship staple. Always towards the top, always in the playoffs. They were in the finals, I think, 2 years ago. Always making playoff runs. Just a real solid team. This year, though, they've only scored 3 goals. Sorry, 4 goals. Nope, 3 goals. I was right. Got to trust my notes. They beat Miami FC, who does not seem to be, they are not historically a great USL championship side. 2-1 on the road, but opened up the season with 2 1-0 losses to Las Vegas Lights and FC Tulsa. And then this past Saturday, they lost 2-1 at Charleston Battery. Now, it's going to be interesting because they will be home to Loudoun United on Saturday, much like us. And Loudoun United is actually top of the league. So will they save anything for our Open Cup match? I doubt it. I think they've got to focus on the championship and start picking up points there because they only have 3. So that game, I think, is very winnable. It seems like the Rowdies don't do a lot of scoring, and we've just got such a solid back line. If everyone can stay healthy through this week and we can just, use our pace down the wings where they seem to really struggle, I think we can easily not easily, but take that win, get our name in the hat for the next round, and that's all you can really ask for. That one should be a great crowd, hopefully. Keep hyping this up. We do need a name for this rivalry. So if you have any recommendations, please get in contact with us. Email addresses in the podcast description, as always. You can also find us on Instagram, Forza Naples Pod. And please get in contact with us. Send us a DM. We've been looking at names. So far, our leader is the Gulf War, which I kind of like, but, some controversy with that one. Or the I-75 Derby. But that one's kind of boring. Back to the league. FC Naples going to stay top of the league after this 3-0 win over Texoma. Texoma, another expansion side. That's back-to-back expansion sides we've played this year. But they didn't really have a lot. Didn't really look great. I don't think they've really clicked as a team. This was only their 3rd game. FC Naples has played the most league games out of all of the league with 5, and currently sit top of the table on 11 points. Even with all the other teams' game in hand, they still can't catch us, which is a great sight to see. The next closest team is in second with Greenville Triumph on 7 points, but FC Naples on 11 points. And this is just a friendly reminder. We've given up 1 goal all year in the league, and it was an absolute worldie by Chattanooga in the first match, and that was the only time we've trailed all season. So something to be said about our backline and goalkeeper. Matt Poland had said at the start of the season, going back and rereading his quotes, and they've all reigned so true this season. Basically, the best offense is a good defense, and we're going to build from the back. And it's been true all season. We've been so solid at the back. We've given up 2 goals in all competitions, 1 goal in the league. And, that's 4 straight league matches with clean sheets. Just, you can't ask for much more. And it seems like we're finally starting to get goals, whether they be off set pieces like we saw, in the Open Cup match and last night, 2 goals off corners, or just, applying that high pressure and making teams make mistakes like we saw in the game against Madison a few weeks ago. And then the first goal in the game against Texoma was we forced them to turn over the ball at the back. Henderlong picks up the ball in the box, slots it home. I expect to see a lot more of that. And it is nice to see more set pieces goals because, that gets the crowd excited. Again, just can't praise this team enough. It really does seem to be a real special team, real special group of guys. The team posting on Instagram after the game, after every win, our celebration, and everyone just seems so into it. Just a bunch of selfless players. You can't ask for much more as a football fan. Looking ahead now to the week ahead, we're going to try and get another podcast episode up for you guys at some point this week. Like I said, I just had to hop on. I mean, two center back goals deserves much longer podcast than I can put out today, but had to get something out based off of that performance. But looking ahead, we have Richmond Kickers, another historic USL franchise, the traditional top of the table team. I think this is going to be a real test. They currently sit third. They've won 2, lost 2, but coming off of a tough loss to Madison in their derby. But Richmond also play Wednesday at home against Union Omaha, another solid team who's kind of been off to a slow start this year. So we will have to see about that one. But playing Wednesday and then coming down to Naples on Saturday, maybe some tired legs, maybe a chance to take advantage, continue to use that pace on the wing, should be a good one. But yeah, they currently sit third. We have them on Saturday, and then like I mentioned, the Rowdies in the Open Cup next Wednesday, April 16th, 7 p.m. kickoff at home again. And then we are back home on the 19th to face Knoxville, and then back home again on the 26th to face the Charleston Battery, another USL championship side in the Jägermeister Cup. That one sure to be a good one. I am curious if Jägermeister will be offered at the stadium, with it being a Jägermeister Cup match. Something to find out. Then FC Naples heads out on the road to AV Alta, which is a good transition to, let's take a look at the USL League One updates from around the league. Yesterday, we did have quite a few more matches throughout League One, including AV Alta picking up a 2-0 win in their brand new stadium against Westchester SC. AV Alta did look to be a pretty good side. Portland Hearts of Pine, the other expansion side, get to score a league goal. They drew 0-0 out in Spokane. Greenville Triumph picked up a 1-0 win against Charlotte Independence. Charlotte Independence is, I believe they are now 1-1-1 through their first 3 games, having scored 1 goal, given up 1 goal. So lots of ones there. I believe that's a Yahtzee if you're keeping score at home. And then Chattanooga Red Wolves and South Georgia Tormenta 2-2 with a late penalty goal coming from Chattanooga to pick up a point at home, coming off of their big Open Cup win in the Chattanooga Derby. That was all the games yesterday. Like I said, another game on Wednesday of this week. 2 games on Wednesday, actually. Greenville Triumph and Knoxville, and Richmond Kickers, Union Omaha, both playing Wednesday night. And then we have a Friday special, Charlotte Independence hosting Forward Madison, and then 3 more games on Saturday, including ours against Richmond. So lots to look forward to this week. We'll try to be back and give a full update with Paul, and maybe we'll even try and get a few other guests listening. Thank you all so much for listening for this quick update. Looking forward to the week ahead. Looking forward to the continued success of FC Naples. Let's go win the league. Let's go win the Open Cup. Why not us? Why not now? Let's do it. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening. Come on, Naples.